Ooh. Coming back at you with that smooth jazz, of course. How now, brown cow. Welcome back. I'm Sven. I'm your host. Welcome back to episode 6. Can you believe it? Pretty great episode I have for you, and a little bit different than what we've been doing. So, for those of you that are joining us, and this is your first time, you know, what we usually like to do is talk about what us as entrepreneurs are going through. And, you know, what we've been going through over the last 2 months is pretty wild. You know, quarantine, businesses shut down, whole way of life changed for the unforeseeable future. Well, that stops now. Usually, we take this kickoff, Victoria Day weekend, kickoff to the summer, and we celebrate winter being behind us and summer coming up, you know, barbecues, hanging with friends, going to the beach, enjoying the sun, going to the cottage. That's changed. Life has changed, and we're going to talk about it. Because I don't think us as entrepreneurs talk about it enough. We bottle it down. We keep it inside. We don't like to talk about it. We're tough. We're resilient. But guess what? It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to not be fine. We're all going through this together. And I think the more we talk about it, the better off we're going to be. So let's do this. Today, instead of talking about stuff with other entrepreneurs, we're going to talk about how we're going to kickstart our businesses. Phase 1 is starting. Phase 1 of reopening the economy has started. So instead of celebrating winter and kicking off the summer, we're going to celebrate kicking quarantine out and bringing our business back, restarting it. Our businesses are back. The economy's back. Let's take advantage of it. And today, we're going to focus on some tips and tricks and some best practices, really, of doing that. Okay. So phase 1 is retail, car dealerships, marinas, pet and animal services, veterinarian services, health services like psychotherapists and surgeons, community services like libraries, maintenance and property management services, and individual team sports. We can get out there and we can hit the links. You know, that's super exciting. And these institutions are allowed to reopen given that they're practicing safe physical distancing measures. So let's talk about that. The first stage of reopening, in the quotes of the Ontario government, the first stage of reopening will focus on workplaces that are well positioned to follow public health advice to maintain physical distancing, implement workplace safety guidance, and limit gatherings. So let's talk about that exact phrase today. And if you're not in phase 1, don't worry, because I'll tell you right now, entrepreneurs and businesses alike are going to make a whole lot of mistakes, and you can learn from that. And you can see what other people are doing. Get out there, go into some of these shops, see what they're doing in their business. Talk to other business owners virtually if you can. But if you're in their shop, you know, stand that 6 feet back and just say, hey, look, I'm a business owner too. Tell me what you're going through. Tell me how it's been. And maybe you can learn some stuff and implement that into your business. What I'm actually doing this week is I'm trying to rally together some business owners from my community so we can get together on this digital meetup, digital fireside chat, and we can chat about what we're doing to implement new things into our business, because this is new. Nobody's been through this before. There is no manual for this, but there are a lot of resources out there. And if you're listening to this on a podcast, head over to my YouTube channel, the Hometown Brawn Podcast YouTube channel. And in the link, I'm going to have a lot of resource links that you can click on. We're going to give you some posters, some guidance documents about proper procedures and measures that you can put into place in your business. and a lot of great stuff for your business that you can implement. Today, I figure that what the best thing to do is break down this phase 1 reopening for business owners as per the Ontario framework documents, and talk about what most small business owners and entrepreneurs are going to be doing that are reopening. All right, so let's break it down into 2 segments. The first is keeping our employees safe, and the second one is going to be keeping our customers safe. And I think both of them are important because this is our business, and both of them are intermixed and work alongside each other. So the first one, keeping our employees safe and creating a safe working environment. Us as employers in Ontario, we have certain duties to uphold as employers to provide a safe working environment for our employees. And if it's not safe, they have the right to refuse to come to work. So if we don't want to have a visit from the Workplace Safety Insurance Board or from the Ministry of Labor and have potential fines or have our business shut down and potential bad press around all this, then we got to take this very serious, guys. This is an infectious disease, right? This is a pandemic that's killing people, right? So let's talk about keeping that safe. This means training. This is some serious training because there is no training manual around this. So, every business is different. And what I've gone and done is gone through the rabbit hole. I've gone through all these documents and tried to find the ones that were most important to me in my business. And I'm going to share those with you. And, hopefully a lot of this is applicable to small and medium-sized businesses that are at least open to the public in phase 1. And you can take these and implement them into your COVID-19 health and safety preparedness documents that you put forward to your employees. So your staff is returning. Let's get them trained. Let's have a initial sit down with everybody. Talk through this document that we've prepared. Have them read through it with you. And at the end of it, have them sign that they've read it and understand it. And if they don't adhere to those certain measures, then they could be held to job action. Because if we're taking this serious and we can be held to certain consequences, then so our employees should be as well, because people's lives are at stake, right? So make sure that they take it serious and they understand that there is consequences if they're not following these guidelines to keep everyone safe. And this is just going to cover your ass, and it's going to make sure that our expectations are out on the table. Okay. Ensure that your staff always have access to hand washing stations. So our bathroom, right? We should have documents in there, a poster in there that tells everyone, how to clean their hands properly as per the Ministry of Health, 20 seconds, provide antibacterial soap, hand sanitizer, and plenty of paper towels in there. Keep a log of these hand washing stations in your bathroom and in your kitchen and everywhere else that there is a hand washing station, so that we can make sure that every hour, it's wiped down. And I would appoint somebody in your business to do that and pay them more per hour to do this in addition to their job that they're going around and making sure that people are adhering to these new measures in your workplace. Make sure that they're filling out that log, that everything is wiped down. So you're going behind everyone and wiping down the bathrooms in these common areas that people are in, have to be constantly wiped down throughout the day, every hour, and logged. Okay. Make sure that you're providing personal protective equipment such as masks and gloves, antibacterial soap, and hand sanitizer. Everybody should get a container of hand sanitizer at their desk or their workstation, and they should have access to that. People that come into your business that are working there should be washing their hands upon entering the workplace. And what I would even recommend is that their outside shoes stay at the door, and that they have inside shoes that they put on when they come into your office that are wiped down with sanitary wipes at the door. And those shoes can either stay here or people are to bring them here, which is basically an indoor pair of shoes that are not subject to being outside all the time. That's just going to keep things a little bit cleaner in your workplace. What I would also do is make sure that everybody is to wash their hands as soon as they finish their work space. So if they're in a workspace and they're completing a task, they move to another workspace, they should be immediately washing down their workstation that they were just at, wiping it down, making sure it is sanitary, washing their hands before they go to the next workspace. And that's just going to make sure that people aren't cross-contaminating. And in each workspace that they're in, if possible, make sure that they're the only one in that workspace. If they aren't able to do that, make sure that there is that proper 2-meter distance between them and the next worker. That is a must-have. Make sure that as people are moving, if they are wearing gloves, that you've trained them how to properly dispose of those gloves. And that means that you have clearly labeled garbages where people can dispose of their gloves if they're ripped, dirty, or torn, and just dispose of them and put on new ones. So you've got a glove dispenser, hopefully, at that garbage that they can just pull out a new pair and put them on and then go about their next task. Close off gathering areas, so break rooms. We don't want people huddled around the water cooler, right? So things are a little bit different now. Stagger shifts and break times. This is all going to help to protect your workplace against any unnecessary physical contact and keep that physical distancing as it should be. Introduce fresh air into your workplace. So what that means is increasing the air intake into your ventilation system or opening up windows and doors. It's getting nicer outside, so that shouldn't be a problem, and it should be actually pretty nice to get some of that summer breeze into your workplace. Try to avoid any recirculation of the air in your office because that's just going to move around any potential germs. Screen your staff regularly for health issues, and if anybody develops any COVID-19 symptoms, I don't have to go through what the symptoms are. You've heard them. Report the illness ASAP. This is very important to your health unit. Okay, you have a duty to report this within 4 days. It is law. So contact your local health unit for further information on how to handle this. Right? There's a whole thing around privacy and getting that person to the proper health practitioner as soon as possible. And I'm going to provide some links below to other local health units within Canada. Now, that should be a good starting point for you and for employees to, keep things safe, distant, clean within your workplace. It's going to be different. You're not going to have that culture that you used to have where everybody, it's sterile, right? So, try to laugh where you can from a distance. If that means cutting back your hours so people aren't working as long, then do that. Because what you're doing is you're limiting the hours that people potentially have contact with COVID-19. So think about limiting your hours or, work Monday through Thursday and Friday is off. Give everyone a long weekend, and everyone's going to be a lot more productive and happy to come to work. Okay, retail businesses with their own dedicated entrance are allowed to reopen. No indoor malls, unfortunately, at this time. But businesses with their own separate street front entrance are allowed to reopen by appointment only, or curbside pickup, or one customer per square meter. So that's 43 square feet. If you are a clothing store that has fitting rooms for people to try on clothes, you cannot open your fitting rooms unless they have doors, because curtains can't be cleaned the way that doors can. So this is, again, a sanitary thing. If you're opening your doors to customers, make sure you have tape on the ground leading into your business. So that means if there's a lineup of people waiting, they should all be waiting 6 feet apart. We've all seen this at the grocery store. And then in your business, you should have those 6 feet areas all taped out as well. And it should be in a one-way manner so that people aren't just walking around in any direction. Keep that traffic flowing. And you should have signs outside that instruct people of how they are to adhere to your physical distancing rules in your business. People will appreciate that. They'll feel safe. They'll tell people how safe they felt coming to your business, and that is good. Okay. It's also managing expectations. So we did talk about that being very important. Now, as people come in to your business, make sure that they're using hand sanitizer. So put that at the front entrance. People can use that hand sanitizer. That way, again, you're limiting any potential contact and bringing that COVID-19 into your business. Make sure that you're also posting to your social media and your website that you recommend people come wearing gloves and masks if they can. If they can't, tell them that you are providing hand sanitizer. So again, you're reminding people that you're keeping a safe and healthy workplace. Make sure that you're letting your customers know that you're not having reusable bags. So don't bring in any reusable bags. Provide your own bags for people to leave. Again, this is a sanitary thing. If you are, and don't charge for bags, okay? That's right now, we need to provide as much value to everyone as we can. So don't charge for bags. Don't be greedy. It's not going to go over well. If you have any carts in your business, make sure you're wiping them down or providing people with wipes to clean their own carts as they go. But we do recommend having someone that's cleaning them as they are provided to customers. And let's talk about the checkout, procedure, right? So when people are buying the products, it's important that we have a plexiglass barrier because often when people are checking out, it's really hard to have that physical distancing that's 6 feet away. So people are relatively close because they have to pass off that point of sale unit. Make sure that there's plexiglass protecting the person that is handling the point of sale unit. Promote using cards over cash and promote tap, right? So that's just less contact point. And make sure that the person that is handling that point of sale unit is wiping down the point of sale unit after each use, and that they have their own hand sanitizer as well. Now, the next thing we can talk about is promoting curbside pickup, right? So instead of coming into your business, promote people coming to pick up their order. And again, if you're going to promote that curbside pickup, maybe run a promotion that says, if you're doing curbside pickup, we're going to give you an additional 5% off. And all that's going to do is help eliminate any other potential customers coming in that don't have to. If they're going to order online, that's ideal because they're going to order online. They're going to come up, pull up and place signs outside that tell, call our phone number when you're here. Tell us your name, tell us your phone number and your order number. And we'll bring your order out to you. Pop the trunk. We're going to put it in your trunk. Don't get out of your car. And that's the safest way, right? Then they're on their way and there's literally no points of contact, right? So that's the safest way. And I would let everyone know that yes, we're welcoming people back into our business, but if you can, try and promote curbside pickup as best as you can, because that is the most ideal way to keep your customers safe and keep your employees safe. I'm going to put out a blog post as well that's got some of this information and these links for you, and hopefully this has been helpful to you to create some safer workplaces out there. Start forming your document if you don't have it, and you just kind of had a nonchalant, semi-formal meeting where you're like, hey guys, let's keep this safe and clean, wear masks, wash your hands as much as you can. Guys, I'm telling you right now, it's gotta be more serious than that. We have to buckle down. We have to have a document in place. It has to have logs on the wall. You have to have hand washing stations. You have to provide safety equipment, personal protection equipment to your employees and to your, customers as well, with hand sanitizer and wipes. We need to go above and beyond right now to keep this at bay, because this is the only way that we're going to really flatten the curve. This is the only way that we're going to keep decreasing the amount of cases, because if those cases spike again, phase 1 is going to turn back into phase 0. And next thing you know, we're going to be quarantined again. So if we can all work together and we can keep things safe and clean, we're going to kick COVID-19's ass and move forward with this together. Before I leave you for the day, I just wanted to give a shout out and a thank you from the bottom of my heart to all of our frontline healthcare workers and essential workers out there for all that you do. Thank you so much. To my fellow entrepreneurs, thank you for listening. Keep powering through. Stay positive, stay optimistic, and stay hungry. Thank you for subscribing below to our channel, listening to us on Apple Music, on Google Play, on Spotify, and we'll see you next week.